One Arizona sheriff is famous for cracking down on illegal immigration while the federal government refuses to do much of anything, almost nothing. Sheriff Joe Arpaio has arrested hundreds of illegal aliens under state and federal law, and the debate over illegal immigration takes to the streets tomorrow nationwide. Illegal alien open borders amnesty activists planning a series of demonstrations across the country. Christine Romans now reports on the no-nonsense style of the Maricopa County Sheriff's efforts to enforce our nation's immigration law, a model perhaps for the rest of the country. And Casey Wyan reports now on efforts to prevent a repeat of last year's events where thousands of California students cut classes to attend those protests. But first, we're going to the site of what will be one of those demonstrations tomorrow, in all likelihood. We don't know how large, but Phoenix, Arizona. Christine Romans has the story. Christine?
Lou, Sheriff Joe Arpaio says he's probably the only sheriff in America actually enforcing immigration laws. Cross the border illegally, you might just end up living here in one of his tents in the desert.
Yeah, I want to be number one. L.A. County, they keep letting them out. They'll come here, we'll lock them up.
This sheriff is enforcing state and federal immigration laws. His county is home to Phoenix, a transportation hub for illegal immigration. His deputies are being trained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and he's using a new state anti-smuggling law to arrest illegal aliens, 540 so far, calling them co-conspirators with their smugglers.
Everyone that crosses that border should be arrested for violating a federal law and put in jail. No one enforces that federal law.
He is a tough lawman, famous for reinstating the chain gang, making inmates wear pink underwear, and putting convicted criminals in tents in the desert to ease overcrowding. His efforts routinely draw lawsuits.
So that's going to be a little controversial, probably be sued on that.
The American Civil Liberties Union is tangled with Arpaio before. Illegal immigration, no exception.
Of course, everyone's frustrated. Everyone is frustrated by the current sort of immigration problems that we're all dealing with. But it's not the role of local, county, police departments to enforce immigration law.
She says he has no business enforcing federal law, and she says he's driving illegal immigrants further underground. But the sheriff says he doesn't listen to his critics. He says if you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime. He says if no one else is going to enforce the laws, he will. He is, after all, Lou, the one who has the badge and the gun. Lou?
Yeah, Sheriff Joe is a model for, Sheriff Joe Arpaio is a model for the whole country, in my opinion. And it's funny to watch the open borders amnesty activists just bristle that he would enforce laws and for them to suggest that he not. I think that we're seeing a tide turn in this country in which people are starting to understand, who perhaps before did not, that we are first a nation of laws before we're a nation of immigrants. And certainly when we talk about immigrants, more than 2 million coming into the country legally every year, it gets a little troubling to hear people try to rationalize so many coming in illegally. How's Sheriff Arpaio feeling there? Does he feel like he's making progress?
He feels like he's making progress. He's arrested some 540 just under this controversial state anti-smuggling law. Lou, it's interesting. He essentially says if you are being smuggled by a smuggler, you're a co-conspirator. So he is arresting people for being smuggled, for coming across the border using this law. His critics say he's misapplying the law completely. He says he just doesn't care.
Well, maybe the expression is he does care, and it's kind of nice to see someone in law enforcement who does care, who demonstrates it, and where, by the way, is the ACLU, MALDEF, and all of the others so quick to jump on these kinds of programs?
Well, they are worried about racial profiling. They're worried about stepping on.
No, I know what they're worried about. Are they complaining about it? Are they taking action like they do, or do they not feel like ganging up on Sheriff Joe?
They're filing lawsuits. I'm told that there are a raft of lawsuits on behalf of the ACLU against Sheriff Joe. His lawyers are used to tangling with them.
Well, I think that's going to be an interesting match with Sheriff Joe Arpaio and whoever wants to take him on, because he is a law enforcement officer. And Christine Romans, tomorrow, lots of students, lots of people going to the streets, demonstrating for amnesty. How many people are expected in Phoenix?
The high-end estimates are 10,000, Lou, but we're told that there's a lot of sort of division between a lot of these groups. They're not expecting as many people at all. Other sources are saying closer to 2,000 to 5,000. You will not see the show that we saw last year on the Phoenix streets, by all accounts. All
right. Well, of course, CNN will be covering those demonstrations, whatever size they are, all around the country. That report beginning with dawn tomorrow, running till dark and beyond. Our coverage styled Immigration Nation. And we thank you, Christine Romans. You can get out of the heat there for a little while now. Christine Romans in Phoenix.